channel. My name is Chelsea, and this is
Charisse.
And we are the owners of Shaping Strong Families.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely to meet you. For today's video, we are talking about timeout again.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it would be fun to share some of the questions we've gotten from clients in the past regarding timeout. So the number one question I think I hear, I think you would agree, is, I'm just gonna look at my phone as a reference, is when is it appropriate to use timeout? Among other questions we get all the time, this one is pretty high on the list.
Yeah, right.
So I want to share with you, Mom, some of the things, some of the places and questions people have asked. When is it appropriate to use timeout? Are you ready? Okay, so the first one is it appropriate, or it actually says, is it okay to put my kid in timeout when we're at church?
One of the beautiful things about timeout is you really can do it anywhere, right? If you're in your house, it's important to do timeout where you are, right? So you don't want to send your kids to the bedroom for timeout. You want to do timeout where you're at, but you can move around, right? So you can do timeout if you're in your bedroom watching TV and your child misbehaves. You can put them, right in the corner of the room and say you're in timeout now.
Yeah.
And they're just in timeout. They'll get used to wherever mom says to go to timeout is where timeout is. You can use a specific place like the bottom step, often is a common one, or you can even have a little chair, that's a timeout chair, or the naughty corner. That's fine, as long as it's where you are so they can see you ignore them. If you're out in public, it's also great because it's easy to do timeout out in public. If you're
Oh yeah, that's my next question. Somebody asks, what do we do if we are at Target?
Right. Whether you're at church or you're at Target, you just have to send the message to your child that, okay, the world is going to stop because you misbehaved and you're going to have a timeout. So mom's going to make it happen. So if you're at timeout, you can do it one of two ways. You could do what I call rear to the wall.
If we're at Target.
At Target. Is that what I said?
You said if you're at timeout.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you're at Target, remember when you were little, we would do rear to the wall.
Yes.
Right? So if I said, hey, stop doing that or come here, and they didn't do it, the world stopped. I found the nearest wall and their little rear had to go right to the wall while they did timeout, and I turned the other direction and I just simply ignored them. Short and sweet, just a couple of minutes.
We didn't like it.
No, they didn't like it. So, but that's what we did. We will continue on and we will continue shopping as soon as we're done with our timeout, which is, just a couple of minutes. But there's no Slurpee. There's no going to the dressing room. No, we're not going to go look at the fish. We're going to do rear to the wall until you're done, because I'm teaching you that you may not behave a certain way. And then you repeat it as often as you need to repeat it. In church, the church example, you certainly don't want to have a conversation, when the priest or the pastor is talking, but you can remove, actually I said there were two ways to do at Target.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
One is right there, find rear to the wall, but you also can just simply take them to the car and do timeout in the car. We're going, and if you're at church, you don't want to interrupt the proceeding, right?
Right.
The worshiping. So you either can go into the hallway or out into your car, and we will not be returning until you rein in your behavior. If you're screaming and you're at church, okay, we're going to do the 3-minute timeout, but we're also not going back in until you're quiet.
Yeah. You gotta get it together even at church.
Gotta get it together wherever you are.
So that kind of answers the next question, when can you use timeout? And I believe the answer is anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere, anytime, any place.
Anywhere, anytime, any place. So we also wanted to say, in our last video, we talked about 5 reasons why timeout might not be working for you. So let's talk about 5 reasons why timeout will work for you, why it can work for you.
Right, okay. The number one reason why you want to use timeout is clearly it works well. There's just a mountain of scientific data that when you use timeout correctly, you really can shape positive behavior. So it works really well.
So you would disagree with the narrative that timeout causes long-lasting negative effects on children?
Silly.
Yes. Okay.
What causes long-lasting negative effects are kids that run amok and they struggle in the world because they can't control their emotions. If you're going to teach your child to behave a certain way, you are really educating them that you do expect them to handle their emotions when the world doesn't go the way they want it to go. So they have to rein it in and behave appropriately, or there's a timeout.
Makes sense.
And number 2 is you can use it anywhere, anytime. So it's very versatile.
The last 3 reasons why timeout works is it's short, it's sweet, and it avoids anger.
Yep. There's nothing to argue about, right? So there's no lectures. There's no threatening. There's
Right.
no being drawn into, complaining or a tantrum. It just is what it is. It's short, very time limited, because you're just going to repeat it over and over. So it's not these long, huge timeouts. And it avoids getting angry with your kid. There's nothing to
Right.
get angry about. There's no words coming from your mouth. So there's nothing to get angry about.
Yes, there's no negotiating either.
Right. It's a done deal.
We also need to mention that we have a free mini course on timeout. It's called Does Timeout Work? It's linked in the description box below. We also have a full course linked in the description box below called You Can't Make Me, about dealing with behavioral issues in children.
From toddlers to teens.
Children of all ages.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really fantastic courses, so check them out. And if you have any questions about them or about any of our content, or if there's anything you want to see from us, leave it in the comments down below. Is there anything else you want to say?
I don't think so.
Okay, we will see you in our next video.
Thank you.
Bye.